Welcome to the Art of Networking. This is the second video out of 3. This video will cover how to prep for writing a networking email and the basic structure of a networking email. Before we get into it, if you want to do this right, make sure you understand what networking is and isn't, which was covered in the first video. There is a lot to explain, so this video will be a little bit longer than the other two in the series, so stick with me. Before you hit the send button, there are some very important steps to do before any type of outreach. The best way to impress someone and start building a rapport is to demonstrate genuine interest by going into your conversation, whether online, in person, or over the phone, really well prepared. Once you have identified a person you hope to develop a networking contact, research is the crucial next step. A little research will go a long way, but it will definitely be noticed by your contact if you skip this step. In fact, lack of research is one of the biggest complaints we get about new graduates and other young alumni. It will also help you develop some great questions to ask in your networking outreach. So let's go to the 6 steps to get you started before you even write anything. 1. What are the person's job title and department, if applicable? 2. How long has the person been at the company? Where did the contact work previously? 3. What other professional information has this person provided online? If you found the contact's information on the Newhouse Network database, carefully comb through the profile to glean details and advice you may not have found on other sites. Check out the contact's company website to see if there's a bio listed there, and search for mentions in industry trade publications and press releases. 4. What do I already know I have in common with this person? You will have the Newhouse SU in common with many of your networking contacts, but in your research you may learn about some other things you have in common, such as a similar academic background, that their hometown is close to yours, or that you both root for a certain sports team. 5. Are there any other alumni that work there? And 6. What other information would be helpful at this stage of my search that this person might be able to answer? Now that you have done your research, it is time to do your first outreach. However, before I get into the specifics, you can go to our resources site, and under guides in our networking section, we will have the networking email formula and networking examples as well. So let's get started. So there are 3 steps. 1 is you want to establish, then reestablish your connection to this person. Know how you got this person's name or contact information. Indicate why you selected this specific person to reach out. Make it all about the recipient before you get into what you want. 2. Clearly communicate why you are reaching out. Have a reason to be contacting this person. If you don't have one, you are not ready to network. Ask only for advice or a few minutes of a person's time. Check that you're being straightforward, specific, and succinct. You want to ask specific questions. No softball questions such as, how did you get started in your career? Or what advice would you give somebody that's recently graduating? That is not specific enough, and you typically will not get a response. Don't use grand or flowery language or texting style shorthand. Write the way you would speak to someone you respect. Get to the point about what you want. Ask 1 or 2 questions that are to the point, but that cannot be answered with a simple yes or no. Again, this goes back to being specific. 1 to 2 specific questions are great. Don't pitch yourself. This is not a cover letter. Only briefly reference things you've done to give context to your questions. Step 3. State the next steps. What will happen from here? Will you wait to hear from the person? Will you call the contact's assistant to see if you can set up a time to talk? Be unassuming. Rather than writing, I look forward to hearing from you, use I hope to hear from you. Acknowledge that you know they have other priorities and are busy. Now that you have the basic structure of how to write a networking email, where can you find the people to network with? Well, you can use the Newhouse Network. Attendance to Job Hunt 1 and 2 are mandatory before having access. LinkedIn, be sure to follow Syracuse University, the school, and search the alumni tab. Alumni clubs, these also can be found on Syracuse University's website. Alumni organizations connected to student organizations. And what other people are you connected to? friends, family, professors? Finally, a few additional notes I want to leave you with before we end this video. Respond to all networking emails within 24 hours of receiving them, regardless of how long it took the person to respond to you. Take your cue or tone and enthusiasm from the person's response. If they're more casual, you can be too. If they keep their response short and sweet, you probably should too. If the person is in a leadership role, play it safe and address them by Mr., Ms., Doctor, or if you're unsure how they identify, by first and last name in your salutation. Pay attention to how the person signs their response to see how you should address them going forward. Sign off with your first name, but be sure to include a signature that includes your area of interest or major, your email address, both Newhouse and SU, and your cell phone number, website, and social media handles where appropriate and applicable. When responding or following up with a contact, more on keeping in touch in the next video, always make it about the other person first. Showing interest in a contact as a whole person rather than a name who can do things for you helps to nurture and solidify relationships. It is normal to reach a point when you have no more questions for a particular contact. That doesn't mean it's the end of your communications though. Be sure to watch the next video to learn how to utilize and maintain contact with your networking connection. Good luck!